When it comes to branding, I simply hate oversimplification. Or, as corporations like to put it, user-friendly design. You see, not so long ago we had logos that had character. They were nice to look at and immediately gave you the vibe of what's the company about. At least for the most part. And then, somewhere down the line, the lizard people from the world government decided that we would actually prefer to look at generic garbage mush. Or at least that's my theory. And so, the great downgrade in the world of logo design has started and it lasts till this day. But enough is enough, and today I'm gonna do something about it. You remember how, not that long ago, they even took away the hopeful spark from Mr. Pringle's eyes? Or when the Instagram logo looked like an actual camera, and not this, whatever this is?
What the hell is even that?
Now it got to a point where I decided that, as a 3D artist, I don't really need weekends, cause I don't have friends anyway, so I could easily just, spend those 2 days trying to bring back one of the best examples of a logo downgrade in the history of logo downgrades. And yes, I'm talking about Apple. Because I don't know if you knew, but this is how the Apple logo used to look like.
It was perfect. Perfect.
Before they replaced it with that generic shape, and this is what we have now. However, let's be honest, 2 days is not a very generous deadline for a project like this. But hey, who needs sleep when you have energy drinks, am I right? Am I right? Nope. I was not right. Therefore, if I wanted to even stand a chance, I needed a help from the entire internet, instead of making everything from scratch, like a real 3D artist. Luckily, I already had the perfect reference in black and white, so I just had to put it into the superior 3D software, Blender. And I could start right away. And by the way, now usually comes the part where I show you the footage of what I'm doing, I talk about it, step by step, you are getting bored, click off the video, I have shitty views, so my mood is dropping, classic lose-lose situation. So today, I've got a story for you instead. Now imagine I'm your mom. And it's your birthday in 2 days. So obviously I want to bake your favorite cake, but I will need your help with that. So while looking at the photo of the cake, we need to make a shopping list for the ingredients. So in our case, we will need one full-grown tree with bark, huge-ass landscape with river flowing through it and mountains in the background, 2 towns of your favorite flavor, 1 full-grown sitting Isaac Newton, 500 grams of grass and other ground coverage, and a plate of clear blue sky. Oh, and most important, 1 subscription to Simon 3D channel, because we absolutely can't proceed without it, so make sure you get it before we start. So with a list in your hand, I give you a smooch on the forehead and send you off on an adventure to bring me all the stuff while I will do the rest. So you go to town, but unfortunately I forgot to give you any money. So you can't just go to a one-stop shop to get everything, and you gotta be a little bit more creative. So for the full-grown tree, you go to blenderkit.com because you heard that they just got fresh delivery of free assets, and while waiting in line there, you overhear 2 clients talking about a great quality photo-scanned towns that you can get from Sketchfab. So without a second thought, you decide to head over there to grab those as well. Next up on the list is the grass and other ground coverage, and that's an easy one because you can get the best stuff from the guys at G-Scatter. And the blue sky plate you can just grab on your way home from Google. But the only thing missing is the huge-ass landscape with river and mountains. Unfortunately, the one you would need is very custom and none of the landscape shop even have it in stock. However, because you are one smart cookie, you have the perfect solution. You will ask mom to make you the landscape by herself, and you will just bring the textures to make it look presentable. After all, it's only a background, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Therefore, proud of yourself and with a smile on your face, you go to Poly Heaven to get some nice and crisp textures. In the meanwhile, I was left at home preparing the frame for the cake. The cake is still the logo in this metaphor. I just hope I didn't lose you yet. So I just go and start modeling the frame, following the reference, and add text to match. And also a plane that will get the solidify and displace modifier, and that will be our ribbon on top. Now with all the ingredients, I also get to sculpt the landscape and place everything in front of the camera to neatly fit the reference. I made custom material using the Polyheaven textures and blended them with some procedural noise to avoid too obvious repetitions, and give more rocky textures for the higher elevated mesh areas. Then I took the tree, had to modify it a little bit because the trunk wasn't bent the right way, And also the leaves looked rather scarce, so I had to do a little bit of copy pasting to fix that. Next up, I took the photoscanned towns and had to do a little bit of cleanup in the textures and also the mesh itself, just to make sure that my potato PC won't just die on me. And after that, the background was basically finished. And for the foreground, I again turned to reference to make sure that it's aligned correctly, and then I just scattered the grass with the G-Scatter add-on. At this point the scene was getting super heavy and laggy, and I had to make sure to save like every 5 minutes because it would just constantly crash. But we were also getting really close to the end, so I just decided to push through. Then, as I was about to place the final piece, I found that it's actually missing. You forgot about the main hero, Isaac Newton. Where is it? However, don't worry about it, because I will let you in on a little secret. That's not who really sits under that tree. You see, today we are not only bringing the Apple logo back to life, but I will also expose the mastermind behind Apple Incorporated. And no, it's not Steve Jobs. It's actually someone really famous these days. You can see all the news outlets talking about it, all the time.
This is Elon Musk.
You see, all you need to do is just look closer at the name and then connect the dots. You see, Apple Incorporated. Apple. INC. A. I. Look, I'm not saying that Apple, as a company, is a product of some ancient, super intelligent AI. But are we sure? Well, I for one am not. So in order to state my point, I tried to look for a good representation of AI as a 3D model, and well, I ended up with a generic robot model that I got from the internet. It may not be the most creative thing that I have ever done, but hey, if I learned anything from watching years of Hollywood movies, it's that if there's an AI threat, it's almost always coming from a humanoid robot. This, and also that is the most I could expect from the last 2 brain cells that were still awake at the end of this project and just refuse to give up. Now, whether it's justified to put that instead of Isaac Newton, I will leave for you to decide, and you can let me know in the comments. The signs are there, that's all I'm gonna say. And while you're thinking about it, let me just show you the result of 2 days of sleep deprivation. Enjoy! Yeah, I should definitely give myself more time for those projects.